Are we live?
Yep, you're live.
Oh, hello everybody. Mitzi Cruz here, host of Lincoln Live. So today we are live with these fine gentlemen who are with the Placer County Wine and Grape Association, and I'm going to let everybody go around and introduce themselves to you and let you know what they represent within the organization. So Don, would you like to start us off?
Sure. Don Witt, Public Relations for Placer County Wine and Grape Association.
Hi, Paul Jansen. I am the owner of Citizen Vine and Fork Kitchen.
My name is Steve Keys. I'm director with the Placer County Wine and Grape Association, home winemaker and viticulturalist.
There you go. I'm Sat Baines. I'm also part of the Placer County Wine and Grape Association. I've been with them for about 6 years now. The director of social media and the website, and I'm also a local home winemaker.
So why don't we start off actually by hearing a little bit more about Citizen Vine.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I opened Citizen Vine about 4 years ago. I was actually in a different location in the same parking lot here, and the idea behind it was to take what is normally kind of a pretentious wine bar experience and make it approachable for the masses. So we did just that. It's very casual, intimate, and we have really good food. So it's all tapas, small style plates. We won Best Tapas Restaurant in Sacramento 4 years in a row. And that we quickly outgrew that spot and bought the old Indie Oven spot. And we've been here for about a year and a half. And everything's going really well. So we have another location in Old Town Folsom as well. And then just opened up a new restaurant concept called Fork Kitchen about 3 months ago. And that's pretty much sold out every night.
Yeah, actually, as a matter of fact, I had Andra reach out. I'm not sure if she contacted you or not, but we definitely want to get you guys featured on a future episode of Lincoln Live as well.
Sure.
So,
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, nothing but rave reviews from Fork.
Awesome.
So,
You gave a really good explanation earlier about the spelling of fork.
A fork? Yeah, so lightly the concept is based around the number 4. So there's 4 courses of food for $44. We're open 4 days a week, 4 red wines, 4 white wines, 4 reserve wines, 4 beers. So hence the word fork with F-O-U-R-K.
are we doing okay there with the, okay.
It wasn't right the first time.
Oh, okay. So for those of you that don't know, we are going through a transition at Lincoln Live. Andra has moved on to a different field, and so Sabina is now with us. So bear with us as we kind of make a little bit of transition here. But I also wanted to circle back, Dawn, and please, if you could just project and let everybody know about the mission of the Placer County Wine and Grape Association.
Sure. The Placer County Wine and Grape Association was started in 1999 by Ron Morris, who is the owner of the Secret Ravine Winery. He is actually a very strong contributor to our program from the beginning, and also the wine industry and veterinary culture of Placer County. He actually holds 2 classes on an annual basis at Sierra College for those that are looking to potentially start making their own wine and basically on the production and growing your own grapes. So he's been doing that for a number of years. So far he's graduated over 700 through his 2 classes. And that's a lot of education that he's been providing. We also, as far as an organization, have a mission where we are basically wine enthusiasts, our members, number 1. We have home winemakers, and then we also have volunteers and vintners that participate in the Wine and Grape Association. But our mission statement includes to preserve the veterinary culture of Placer County. We are also providing educational sessions, and Steve is going to talk a little bit about the educational sessions here in a little bit. We provide charitable organizations and programs. We sponsor grants to students at Davis and anybody from Placer County that would be studying veterinary activities in their education. Last thing is that we provide mentor services to those that are actually growing, and if they have any questions, they can call up and we can give them answers, and if we don't have the answer, we'll go to the individuals that will be able to give the answers for them. Very good.
Very good. So, talk to us about the actually, you just covered education. Talk to us, Sat, about the wine judging and what that process looks like, if you would.
Yeah, so the wine judging, we're going on our 14th year for the PCWGA wine competition, and it's an amateur wine competition, so it's got to be somebody that's not involved in as a winemaker,
Sure.
as a professional winemaker, or doesn't have any connections with any of the wine professional commercial processes. And as far as the competition is concerned, we rate three different types, three different categories, dry reds, dry whites, and then there's also dessert wines. That's our third category. And last year we increased our output as far as the number of entries by 30%, and it consisted of mostly local home winemakers. There were some from outside of Placer County as well, but what we used for that competition was the UC Davis 20-point system, which has about 9 different categories associated with it that you could provide a rating on, like color, appearance, the nose, acidity, so on and so forth. And we provided this 20-point system to the individual judges. We had about 3 judges, I'd say, and 4 tables, and the judges consisted of professionals that were in the industry locally, along with a couple of mature local home winemakers such as Steve. I would consider him commercial myself.
I'm very mature.
And there was cellar rats. The whole process is there's a cellar rat that they bring out the categorized wine to each individual table, and the judges then rate it across the 20-point UC Davis system. And the system there is for providing them guidance more so than being very rigid against it, because we are local and home winemakers. And they have a discussion towards the end after they do their individual rating. They have a open discussion, and then they provide a award to it. Either they don't give it an award, or they give it a bronze medal, a silver, a gold. A double gold is if all 3 judges on the panel awarded a gold, so then it's considered a double gold. And all the double golds and the golds are then put in a different category at the end to determine the best of show in red, best of show in white. And those then get, after that process is over, then we have an award ceremony with each of the local home winemakers that submitted their wine, and that usually takes place at one of the commercial wineries in Placer.
So where does the competition start, and what's the time frame?
The competition, we're going to open it up, I'd say probably in about 2 to 3 weeks. We're still finalizing a location for it. And as far as the submission process is concerned, the location of the winery that we select, they could either submit the wine there, or we'll have some other locations as well that they could drop off. And as far as the information is going to be on Placer County Wine and Grape Association website, pcwga.org as well.
Okay, got it. And how many entries do you typically receive, would you say?
Last year we received close to 60 entries.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. It was a good turnout last year, and we're hoping to increase it this year. We'll see.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'd love to be a judge.
Oh, yeah. For sure. We already asked Citizen Vine, right?
So, Steve Pies?
Keys.
Yes, I apologize.
That's okay.
Yeah, so why don't you talk to us more about the education piece?
Well, part of our mission is to provide education on winemaking as well as wine appreciation. And winemaking has a lot of elements. And one of the most recent education sessions that we had involved Representative Paul Durrett from ACI Corks, and he gave a presentation to our organization at Conte Avino, which is a wine bar in Rockland. The Farino brothers, Tom and Frank, are the owners there, and they're commercial winemakers as well, and although they did start out as home winemakers. And so the membership learns different aspects at each of these general education sessions that we have. This particular session was all about corkage, and the history of corks didn't come about until they started making bottles. And so this is one of the things that we present to our organization and to the members to get a better appreciation of what's involved in making wines. Not everybody in our association is a home winemaker. Some people like myself are wine growers and winemakers. But we only have 3 requirements for membership in the Placer County Wine and Grape Association. You can either be a wine grower, a winemaker, or a wine enthusiast. So if you qualify in one of those areas, you're more than welcome to become a member of Placer County Wine and Grape Association. So recently at my vineyard, we had a hands-on training program for people who hadn't been exposed to learning how to prune vines, because vines typically, if you left them alone, they would grow up on whatever surrounding environment to find sunlight. In other words, if there was a tree nearby, they'd grow on your tree. And so modern viticulture provides a trellising system for most vineyards throughout the world. And in California, 70-some% of the wine trellising system is a vertical shoot positioning, which is what I employ in my vineyard. So members of PCWGA and the public came to my vineyard, and we taught them how to prune during the dormant season prior to bud break. And so that was very useful. And afterwards we had a wine appreciation session where we brought 10 unknown substances and put it into a base wine, the same base wine, and then we had them try to identify the aromas. And so it was fun. It was a fun session. Don and Sat both came to it at various times. We had 3 different sessions, and it is a very rigorous session where they had to smell the aromas without drinking the wine to determine what it was. And so we had blackberry, boysenberry, raspberry, strawberry, we had pepper, we had oak chips, we had various elements of a good wine in order for them to test themselves against this substance to determine if they could identify it properly. So when you drink a wine, it's swirl, sniff, and sip. That's basically everything except the sipping. So we had pepper in there, so a lot of pepper, because it was one of the elements that I have a hard time recognizing. So we have these things going on throughout the year, and our next one is on June the 12th. It's going to be on canopy management, presented by Dr. Grover Lee at Weiss Villa here in Lincoln.
Awesome. And Dr. Lee was a former guest on Lincoln Live. He's a wealth of information. That sounds like a very interesting event that's coming up.
Yeah.
It's always good. He has one of the best wineries in Placer County, and in 2015 was the California Commercial Winery of the Year.
Steve, you were the host at our wine pairing as well.
That's correct. Don mentioned that Secret Ravine and Ron Morris and his wife Vicki, they hosted our most recent meeting and educational session, where we paired with Chef Paul from Sienna Restaurant, and he served 4 different small dishes, kind of like a tapas type offering. And then Vicki paired them up with various wines from Secret Ravine. Secret Ravine, I think, runs 6 medals at the San Francisco Chronicle commercial winery competition this year. So they served their award-winning wines with our educational session.
So I have a question for you in regards to participation from local wineries, because we do have a very robust wine trail. So are all of the wineries that participate as part of the Placer County Wine Trail part of this association?
They can be. Some choose not to, because many are small operations.
Sure.
And where they have to limit their amount of time available for public meetings like this, simply because many of them are small and their time is a tough thing for them to give up that much time.
Sure.
But many of them are participants, and they support our activities, and we support their activities as well.
So how many how many of the wineries that are on the Placer County Wine Trail participating currently in the association?
I'm not sure about that, probably half a dozen to a dozen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Just in the competition alone last year, out of the judges that we had, I'd say about 6 to 7 judges were from the commercial wineries locally.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So they support us in that fashion.
Yeah.
And most of them will host an event if we ask.
That's right.
Oh, great.
Our president, Michelle Colby, owns the Black Vet Winery, and she won a silver at the same competition.
She did. She won her first wine she made was a Petit Verdot and entered it in the San Francisco Chronicle competition, and she got a silver medal for it.
Oh, wow.
And I think she got a silver medal for the label as well. So
Yeah.
she doesn't have a front back. She has a wraparound label with the information on sides. So it's a very, very nice label.
Very good. So if you guys have watched the show before, you know the show is very interactive. And so we'll just take a pause just to invite you to make comments, ask questions. Do we have any questions at this time?
Is the Placer County wineries, do you think they're going to get as commercialized as Napa wineries? Or?
That's a really good question. What do you guys think?
Well, one of the things that people have a hard time understanding is that Placer County was the wine growing capital of California during the 1800s, during the gold rush, and so it was only afterwards that Napa became the center. So with 23 commercial wineries now in Placer County, they're starting to win more and more awards, and not all of their wines are Placer grown, but because of the warmer temperature, we have different varieties that are taking the forefront here in Placer County, such as Sangiovese, Italian wines, Barbera, competing with Amador County even. So I think that Placer County is going to become more and more a wine center. It's got room to grow. There's plenty of land, and I think that Placer County administrators are going to provide some impetus to that, because like Napa, there is going to be a certain availability of land and for development, and that's happening now in Loomis as well as in Granite Bay. So.
Wonderful. Do we have other questions?
So is Placer County, are more and more people, are they going to grow their own grapes or going to import them? Or?
I moved to Placer County 3 years ago, and one of the things I had planned on doing was to grow grapes again. I did it once before and had a bronze from the California State Fair. But first moving here, what I was looking for was somebody that I could go to and be a part of, where I could be more informed about the proper way to grow the grapes, what I need to do to start my vineyard. And Steve has been a great source of information, along with others within the Placer County organization. So if you're thinking about growing grapes, this is absolutely one of the best places to join. And then we have events that are going to be throughout the county. So no matter where you're located, you're going to have some events throughout the year that are going to be located near you, so it'll make it a little bit more convenient.
And I was just driving around yesterday in the rural parts of Lincoln, and I saw these vineyards popping up that I had no clue about as a member, as a board member. So there's quite a few growers that are coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. I know for me and in my regular business, when I'm not doing Lincoln Live, I sell houses, and so I see a lot of people who are taking advantage of the warmer temperatures, the space, and really dialing that in and starting their own vineyards.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, the scale might not be Napa, but the quality's getting there.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I also wanted to talk about some upcoming community events, as well as some events that have already taken place throughout the year. So Paul, do you want to talk to us about some of the events that have taken place that are associated with the Placer County Wine and Grape Association?
I can't necessarily speak to that. We have our own
Okay.
events here at Citizen Vine.
Sure.
We have several different wine tasting events that we normally hold on Thursdays.
Okay.
A lot of times local wineries are featured in that. We've had Wise Villa and Vina Castellano and other wineries like that. So stay tuned to our Facebook page for any updates on next tastings, and we always have something going on.
All right.
So the county fair in Auburn, Placer County Fair, is one of our main fundraisers that we have throughout the year. And while it's not a wine serving, we do have multiple wine servings there, but we actually make most of our money on the margaritas that we sell. But but it's generally very warm for the county fair, and the margaritas taste pretty good. But we have a complete selection. Generally, we'll have 11 different varietals open and serving at one time. So whatever you're looking for at the county fair, if it's wine, come on over to our booth.
Yeah, and as far as the calendar is concerned, you could also go on pcwga.org, and we have a list of activities throughout the calendar year.
Sure.
And another big event that we host, the PCWGA, is the end of year gala for our members only. And we've done it at a variety of clubs in the past. I don't know how to say the name. Casa Videra?
Oh, Cata Videra?
Yeah, Cata Videra.
Yeah.
We've hosted it there last year. Grover at Grover's Place
Sure.
at Wise Villa. We hosted it there. So there's that's one of the key benefits of being a PCWGA member is that end of year gala, and we hold raffle prizes. Wine's always flowing.
Yes.
Wine's always flowing at all our events, so there's no concern there. Steve, always gracious enough, as you could tell, he brought 6 bottles to this event right here, and that's just the norm now.
One of the things that we do also is we have a major scholarship fundraising for, as Don said, someone from Placer County who is an enology or viticultural student at UC Davis. So we award a $2,500 scholarship every year, and so we raise money through donations as well as making available homemade wines for sale at both the Gold County Fair and at the Eggplant Festival in downtown Loomis. So please stop by. You get a chance to taste and realize that homemade wines can be utterly delicious.
So we this year the board had decided to actually increase our visibility, and we've decided to join several additional Chamber of Commerce organizations. Sat and I are members of the Roseville Chamber of Commerce. Craig here is a member of the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce. Then we have Michelle, who's in charge of Auburn, and then we have lastly is Rockland with Lisa. So we're trying to become a little bit more visible and try to show that we are really serving all of Placer as opposed to where we were more towards the Loomis and Rockland area previously.
Got it.
So those of you who are interested in home winemaking or drinking homemade wines, our membership fees are $30 for a year. About the price of a good quality wine, and you get 2 people for that. So if you have a significant other or a wife, you are entitled to having 2 people become members under that, and I think you'll benefit from the educational sessions that we have, and also from being around other people and learning more about winemaking and wines.
That is great, and that's extremely affordable. Yeah, I think that's extremely reasonable. And so that actually brings me on to the raffle. So I know that, unless did you have anything else you wanted to add or anything that we haven't discussed?
When you get to one of the raffle items, I could describe what it is.
Okay, perfect. So for those of you that share this video by noon tomorrow and just comment shared so that we know that you have shared the video, you will be entered into a raffle. So we'll go ahead and do that raffle, and I'm going to let Dawn talk about the raffle prizes.
Okay, so one of the raffle prizes is a challenge coin that's for the Lincoln Memorial, Lincoln Veterans Memorial Project, which is a memorial being funded and designed at this point, and it's going to be dedicated November 11th, 2019, for the veterans past and present who have lived in Placer County and who have served. So this is one of the challenge points.
You know what? While we're on the topic, how's everything going with that?
It's actually progressing quite nicely. We've gone through various design changes. We can actually have double the amount of plaques that we had originally anticipated.
Wow.
So we're looking at 160 that we can have. And we've had a number of announcements that have gone out to the press, and we're looking for more additional veterans to join the effort to put a plaque up on the monument.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then Steve, if you'd like to talk about the wines that you have
Well,
here. Now there's one that's going to be going to Mitzi, and
Right.
then one to her assistant, so you might want to pick those
Exactly.
out.
I don't know what they're.
While he's talking about it, let me pour some of this wine. I see a couple of empty glasses here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why don't you start off with this guy, or you already had an order?
Well, that's okay. This is one that you're not going to get. It's called Rich's Ash Kicking Blend. It's modeled after the Prisoner wine, so it has 7 different grapes in it. It's an honor to my granddaughter, Ashley, who was 12 years old at the time, who was 10 years old at the time, and was a second-degree black belt in Taekwondo. And my son-in-law, Rich, is a aficionado of the Prisoner wine, and so it was modeled after that.
Awesome.
So the wines that I brought today include Tres Uvas, which is Spanish for 3 grapes, and it's a traditional grape blend here in Placer County with 3 grapes that grow well in this area. Zinfandel, a warm weather grape, Syrah, and also Barbera. My first one, which I didn't bring, is a 2013 Tres Uvas, because I only have 1 bottle left, and that's for me. But I did bring 2014 and 2016 Tres Uvas. You might want to hold that up so she can see the label. The label is in Spanish, and so it's basically an ode to, and the other one is also my daughter-in-law, who's born in Mexico City. Her father passed away, and that's their brand from Ciudad de Valle Guadalupe in Mexico, and so we made that label after him. It's one of the things, as a home winemaker, you get to design it and put some thought into it. And those will be auctioned off, or raffled. And the 3 components of Tres Uvas are also here. They are Zinfandel, Syrah, and Barbera. So those will be my contribution to the raffle.
Awesome. And can I win?
You can, and for a price of a membership, you'll get to drink all of them if you just come.
I know, it sounds good to me. That's a good deal.
Great.
So, did anybody have any final questions, thoughts? So it sounds like we are just getting ready to wrap up, and so definitely go ahead and share this video by noon tomorrow. Let us know you shared, and then you'll be entered into the raffle for these awesome gifts, and you definitely don't want to miss out. So let us know that you shared, because we don't always see the shares. But thank you all for joining us on Lincoln Live, and thank you guys for joining us today as well. It has been a pleasure getting to know you guys and learning more about the Placer County Grape and Wine Association.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.